Welcome into the Co-Lin Coaches Show. Today it's all about soccer, and joining me is our head women's and men's soccer coach, Tom Cosgrave. Tom, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And obviously, season is underway. Officially, first two athletic events were soccer. We had the women's soccer team start everything off this past Thursday on the road up in Memphis against Southwest Tennessee. Just talk about that game. You got a big 4-0 win to start off the season. Talk about the game and how you felt about how the girls played.
Yeah, I thought it was an excellent start to the season for us. Scoring 4 goals in your first game is always good to do, especially with a lot of new faces, a lot of freshmen stepping up and getting a lot of good minutes as well. And then on the defensive side as well, keeping a clean sheet with pretty much a whole new back line and a new goalkeeper in there was definitely an added bonus as well.
And obviously, Tom, we talked about some of those new faces, but it was a familiar returning face that really got things started for you. Charlie Cooper, your leading scorer last year, she gets you on the board. Early goal right there in the 9th minute with an assist from a new face, Avery Rankin. Just talk about that goal.
Yeah, we told the girls that we wanted to start strong with high intensity and really push the tempo, which I thought we did in the first 15 minutes. We've done a great job, obviously scoring 2 goals there. Avery Rankins had a great preseason. She's come in and she's linked up really well with Charlie Cooper. And as you can see, for the first goal, they linked up and played a through ball, and Charlie finished it off for us. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come throughout the season.
And obviously that connection kind of factored into the second one. Officially it goes as unassisted, but Charlie getting a second goal, but it was off a rebound. Avery hit one. The keeper was able to save it. Fell right at Charlie's feet, and you heard her talking about it at halftime. She said, I really didn't look. I just kind of kicked and went in the net because she knew the goalkeeper was out. So not something you normally want to see your player do, but it worked out in this instance.
Yeah, definitely. She's just a natural goal scorer. In training, she scores goals from all angles with both feet and her head as well, and she's just got a knack for the goal. So that's always nice to have because there's all different scenarios that you can't really predict in games, and we were lucky that it just fell to Charlie at the right time.
And obviously, you go through half and you score those 2 quick goals. You get a couple other goal scoring opportunities. The Salukis goalkeeper made a couple of good saves there to keep you out of the net any more than what you already had. So it's 2-0 at halftime. You come back out, you score early again. Off a set piece, Emmy Cook, a new international student for us, one of our English girls, sets up on a corner kick, finds Chloe Nash's foot, and she puts it in the back of the net. Talk about that goal.
Yeah, we've seen from the very beginning of pre-season camp that Emmy's got a great delivery from set pieces, which I think is going to be a massive asset for us this year. We work on that a good bit, and hopefully we score plenty of goals off set pieces this year. And for that goal, it was a great run by Chloe. She was left unmarked. The Southwest Tennessee girls left her unmarked, and it was a great finish. So nice way to round out the game. And
obviously that was about the 56th minute, so that makes it about 3-0. And then just a few minutes later, Southwest Tennessee really gets probably their best and only chance on goal, but Laura Dorfel, our goalkeeper, she does save it, keeps that clean sheet intact, and then you get your final goal kind of late in the match, but Brooklyn Cupid gets one, goes unassisted, gets a little bit of a breakaway. Just talk about that final goal.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of the girls that are coming in. We just want them to be a little bit more confident when they get it and trust themselves. We know how good that they can be, but they've got to have that confidence to try new things and try things in games. And Brooklyn was one of those players that we told her when she gets on, just be confident, take your chances when they come. She's got an eye for goal as well, and she made a great run in behind, had a great strike to finish off the game. I was really pleased for her to get on the scoreboard.
And so obviously you finish that one out. You don't give up a goal. It's 4-0. Great first win there. But you've got a quick turnaround. You get done with that one. I think it was about 9:45 when we left the field, and got to be back up there about 10 o'clock in the morning to get ready for an 11 a.m. kickoff. Fortunately, you would think fatigue would be a factor. It really didn't look like it hurt the girls that much to have to play back so quick, because you play against East Central the next day and you win that one 2-0. Now, obviously, probably don't get as many goal scoring opportunities because the girls were a little bit tired, but your first goal, it's Avery Rankin with an assist from Charlie Cooper late in the match. Just talk about how, or late in the first half, I should say, just talk about that first goal for the girls.
Yeah, we talked to the girls about being a quick turnaround, and East Central didn't have a game the day before, and the conditions were really hot. So we wanted to manage the minutes as much as we can and keep everybody as fresh as possible. So again, we told the girls to make sure we start strong before we start to die out a little bit in terms of fitness and fatigue. And those two linked up again, excellent. They're really starting to work together and form a nice partnership going forward for us. So hopefully, they continue to do that as the season goes on.
And obviously, so 1-0 at halftime, and you come back out. In the second half, you get that next goal. This time, it was Charlie scoring. with an assist from another new face in Lisa Johnson. Talk about that goal.
Yeah, Lisa's playing a new role that she's not quite familiar with, that she's not used to playing. But we've really worked on her the last few weeks in order to try and get her to understand what we want from her out on that side. And she delivered a great ball into the box, and Charlie finished it with a great header down low to the goalkeeper's bottom right-hand side. And again, hopefully that's a sign of what's to come with our players going forward. If we can create chances from all over the field, regardless of who's finishing them, as long as we're creating chances, that's one of the main things that we're looking for.
And, obviously you get the clean sheet there because Laura doesn't allow a goal there. She gets, I think we had her for 2 saves. So they had a couple other chances, a couple that went off the post, those kind of things. Just talk about her play and how you felt about everything overall for that game.
Yeah, she's been really good coming in. We've been harping onto her about being a little bit more vocal and being a bit more organised. We lost Alex Moon last year, who was a key player for us for numerous years, and so we wanted Lara to step up, and she's got some big shoes to fill. But so far in the first 2 games, she's done excellent. She's done exactly what we wanted for her to do, and she's kept 2 clean sheets, and we haven't conceded a goal yet. So that's obviously a massive bonus. And hopefully we continue to do that this weekend.
Right, and you had to go on the road this past weekend. You're going to do it again. We'll talk about the teams that you're playing coming up this Friday and Saturday. First up, you've got St. Charles Community College on Friday, going to St. Louis, Missouri area to play both these teams. St. Charles on Friday and Mineral area on Saturday. We'll talk about St. Charles first. What do you know about them?
Yeah, on both sides, they've started off the season with 3 wins, beat some really good teams as well along the way, and they're going to be a top 15 ranked opponent on both sides, and so we're excited about the challenge and the matchup. That's one of the reasons why we scheduled these games. Our conference is the hardest conference, I think, in the country, and so there's no easy game, and so if we can start off the season playing tough teams from different conferences, I feel like it's only going to help us prepare for what's to come ahead in our conference.
And obviously, that being St. Charles, and I know you've talked to some of the coaches about the Mineral area and those kind of things. What are you expecting out of that bunch? Yeah,
it's going to be another tough game again. This year, apparently the coach there has recruited really well, brought in some really big international players that are supposedly going to make some big impacts this year. They've started off the season really strong as well, so it's going to be another tough test for us, and especially after playing a tough game Friday against St. Charles, and then same thing turning around quickly and playing Mineral area on Saturday morning.
And obviously, so that's on the women's side, but we don't want to ignore the guys. The men played as well too. Didn't have the success you wanted them to have. Didn't take a loss, took a tie. So you start the season 0-1. But just talk about the game from the guys' perspective and how you felt about how they played.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that was our first game. There was a lot of stuff that we needed to iron out, the kinks and everything, and figure out. And I thought we did it really well for the majority of the game. I told the boys that afterwards, these first games, that's what it's all about, taking away the positives and what can we build on and laying a good foundation for the next few games. And I thought we did that in, a lot of the game. But unfortunately, soccer's a game of 90 minutes and you've got to stay switched on at all times. And it was a tough way to, get the tie conceded in the last minute, kind of deflated us a little bit there. But I thought we battled well in some tough conditions, so I was proud of the boys for their effort, and we can build off this. And
obviously you want to talk about the goal we scored as well too. Just an absolute ripper of a free kick from Sebastian Navarez late in the first half. I think we had it about the 40th minute. Just talk about what you saw from him and the fact that you had a freshman step up and just nail such a confident shot right there.
Yeah, he's very talented. He's got a great left foot. We call him the set piece specialist for his corner kicks, free kicks that he's got. He's been doing that the last few years for his high school and his club team, and that was one of his biggest assets that we've seen, and that's why we wanted to bring him in. And he practices it daily. He does it. He stays after training every day, and he hits at least 20 to 30 free kicks from that exact same spot. And so as soon as I seen him stepping up to the free kick, I was quietly confident. But he hit an unbelievable strike, and it just went straight in the top corner, and the keeper had no chance.
Right, and obviously, like we talked about already, he gave up that tying goal there in about the 89th minute. Still had a couple opportunities to take some shots late, but great saves by the keeper for the Falcons kept you from being able to take the lead. But you have to feel not necessarily happy with the result, but it wasn't a loss, and you're able, like you said, you're able to take something and learn from that as well.
Yeah, and I said that to the boys. I'd rather it happen right now and learn from this and making sure that we're switched on, right to the very end. I'd rather it happen now in the season instead of in a big conference game or playoffs or anything like that. So that's all part of maturing, and we've got a lot of new faces this year as well, and so it's all part of the learning process, and hopefully we peak at the right time as we start to go through the season.
And obviously, guys will be on the road this weekend as well, too, playing the same 2 teams. briefly talked about them just a moment ago, but what are you expecting? Much of the same thing from the guys' side from both teams?
Yeah, it's going to be two very, very tough games, two physical games as well. Like I said, St. Charles are coming off 3 wins. They've won 2-1, 7-1, 5-1. So it's going to be a lot of goals that they've scored in the past 3 games. And so I think we've got to do a really good job defensively and making sure we shut them down. And we just have to be a little bit more clinical in front of goal. There's not going to be as many chances for us this weekend, and we've just got to make sure we take them. But yeah, I'm excited about the matchup. That's why I scheduled these games. I want the tough games from the very beginning just to see how we fare against some of the other teams outside of our conference that are nationally ranked.
Lots of great soccer action already happening for the Lady Wolves and Wolves. That'll wrap it up for this week. Coach Cosgrave will be back next week. We'll talk about all the games they played the weekend and then the upcoming week as well, too. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kevin Kaiser, Sports Information Coordinator here at Co-Lin. We'll talk to you next week.